Hey, welcome to Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women. So, what should you do when you ask a woman out and she asks you to confirm the date later? So, let's say you're texting back and forth with a woman on Sunday and you ask her, like, hey, there's this really cool happy hour on Wednesday. Why don't we meet there at around 6 o'clock? And then she replies to you with something like, yeah, that sounds really fun. Text me on Wednesday to confirm. What should you do? How should you handle it when she asks you to confirm the date later? Well, that's exactly what a top client asked me about recently. And I'm just going to read his question really quickly because it makes it a little more real. And then we'll go through exactly how to handle it. So AH wrote in, Jim, I asked a woman out on Sunday to meet on Thursday. And then she said, okay, talk to me on Tuesday morning and I'll update you for sure. Should I ask her again? It sounds like she wants to make me chase her. Is her response good? Thank you, AH. So this is a really good question, and it is actually something that comes up a lot, and this will normally happen on the first, second, or third date. It usually doesn't happen as much later on. And so this is probably the first or second time that you've asked a woman out when this will come up. And it is something that happens frequently, so we should be aware of it and know how to handle it. And before I get in how to handle that exactly, I should say that what I'm talking about has some assumptions underneath. And one of those assumptions is that you asked her out correctly in the first place. So when you ask a woman out, you should ask her for a specific day, time, and activity or a location. And you should specify that when you ask her out. And that way, when she says yes or no, it's very clear. And she might say something vague like, oh, how about some other time? That's the same as no, for example. So this assumes that you asked her out properly with a specific day, time, and location. And then her response is, text me later to confirm, or connect with me later to confirm, or whatever. So she asks you to confirm later. She doesn't just say, yeah, that sounds great, and accept your date. And then the other thing that I want to just really quickly touch on here is that in this case, he texted her on Sunday and asked her out for Thursday. That's totally fine, but I've found that 2 or 3 days from now is a little bit better of a window in terms of her agreeing to it and then showing up for the date. So I wouldn't say it's too long. That's totally fine to ask her out for a Thursday on a Sunday. And actually, it's a good test of her interest level and the kind of attitude that she has towards life and towards dating and towards men. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. But let's say you texted her on Sunday and asked her out for Wednesday. And then she's like, hey, confirm with me on Tuesday or Wednesday. How should you handle that? So assuming all of that is true and there's nothing fishy from your end and you're following everything correctly, how do you handle it when a woman asks you to confirm the date later? Well, first of all, I would not text her to confirm or call her to confirm later. What you can do is, let's say she asked you to confirm on Tuesday, like in this question that I got from AH, just let that day pass and do not confirm and see if she reaches out to you. Like maybe she is interested in you and she's like, oh, okay, like he didn't reach out to me. And she sends you a little text at 9 p.m. on Tuesday, like, hey, are we still on for tomorrow? If that's the case, you can be like, yeah, I'll see you at 7 or whatever. That's totally fine. So see if she reaches out to you. And if she does, then you can continue. But if she doesn't, I would not text her and confirm. I would just let that day pass by. And then kind of see if she reaches out to you later or not. And then you can wait about a week from when you were supposed to have your date and ask her out one more time. So you can wait 4 to 9 more days after your date was supposed to happen and ask her out one more time just to make sure there wasn't anything strange going on there. And if she does have interest in you, she'll accept that date and then she'll show up for that one. And if she doesn't, you just move on to the next woman because she's not interested. So one option that you have here is just to let that confirmation day slide. Don't reach out to her. If she reaches out to you, you can confirm the date at that point. And if not, just let that roll. Wait 4 to 9 days from when your date was supposed to happen and ask her out one more time and see how it goes. That's one way. Or another option you have is number 2, you could cancel the date. This is my preferred option and this is what I recommend. And I really don't like kind of talking about playing games, but just remember here, she could have just said, hey, yes, that sounds great. I'll see you there at 7. So she's already kind of either testing you or playing a game or subconsciously pushing you away because she has low interest. Okay, so it's a response to what she did, not something that you're initiating. So if you're worried about like, oh, I don't want to play games, I want to be a cool, nice guy. Okay, cool. But she did something a little strange. So now we're going to play back a little bit and we're going to win. That's what this is all about. And so what I would actually do is cancel the date. So let's say in AH's case, she asked him to confirm on Tuesday, right? So this is what I would do. So Tuesday rolls around and the date's supposed to be on Thursday. I would text her on Tuesday and I would say something like, hey, you know what? Something actually came up on Thursday. Let's hang out another time. And leave it open. Don't say like, let's meet up next week or I'll ask you out again soon. Don't like tell her what's going to happen. Just say, let's do it some other time, which is how they answer you when they don't want to really say no harshly and they're just not interested and they say, let's hang out some other time. You're going to flip that a little bit and you're just going to say, hey, you know what? Something came up on Thursday. Let's meet up another time. So you're canceling the date. And you're not saying like, oh, you should have said just yes or no. Like now I'm going to cancel. It's not really like that. It's just like she kind of casually didn't really care about it that much. So you're kind of taking the same attitude and we're on the same page. Now, here's the critical thing about this. If a woman asks you to confirm a date later, there's a few reasons why she might have done that. One is she has low interest and she's just kind of not really saying no directly. That's always a possibility and we should always consider it. In fact, I would lean towards saying we should always consider that's the number one possibility in most cases of any kind of things that happen like this. So consider that she just might have low interest or no interest in you, which is fine. We'll just move on to the next one who is and stop wasting our energy on that. Or she is interested and she has a bad attitude and doesn't respect people's time, which you're finding out right now before you go on even 1 or 2 dates with her. That's great. You can move on because she has a bad attitude. If this is a deal breaker for her because she wanted you to confirm and then you were like, hey, something came up and you weren't harsh about it or anything, then that means that's how life is going to go with her and you can weed her out. And it's the same thing. Maybe she has both low interest and a bad attitude towards other people's time. And you're respecting your own time. So when a woman does something like this, she's tying up your time because you don't know if it's a yes or not until Tuesday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you're thinking about, is it actually a yes? She hasn't said yes to your date. She's tying up that entire time in between. And we don't want to put ourselves in that position where a woman is tying up our time. And I'll probably make a presentation about that as well because I think it's a really important concept for men. So don't let her tie up your time. You're a busy, cool guy. You have other things going on, just like she does. And you can both kind of know your schedule and say yes or no. If it was that important and she was that interested, she could just say yes and move other things around, right? And so if she's not interested in you or she has a bad attitude, it's a good thing that you're not going to continue dating her. And if she is interested in you and she was just doing it as a subconscious test to see if you're really a cool guy and how you're going to handle this, or she really was just kind of innocently asking you to confirm because she wasn't sure if she would. Now her interest is going to go up because you didn't chase her and you didn't show lack of self-respect and you showed her that you respect yourself and your time. That's going to make her more interested in you romantically if she has some already. So you win either way. Either she is interested and the next time you ask her out, she's going to say yes and not pull this kind of thing again because she wants to make sure she can hang out with you. Or she's not interested or has a bad attitude and you're going to move on to a woman who is interested with a good attitude. So you're going to win no matter what when you do it this way. And I just highly encourage you to try stuff like this. If you're a little bit afraid to do it this way, just try it a couple of times and see that you actually get better responses and you feel better about yourself and you feel more confident and more self-respect when you handle things this way. And it's going to be better for you. So for some guys out there, this might sound harsh to you, but just remember that you're responding to something that she did. She could have just said yes when you asked her out, right? So this is you responding to her. It's not harsh. And you're showing her that you have a backbone and that you value yourself and your time, which if she does have romantic interest in you is going to make that go up. And if you chase her instead, it's going to make it go down. And so this isn't really harsh. This isn't really playing games. You're responding to something that she did. And she could have just said, hey, you know what? I might have a meeting on Thursday night. I will know by Tuesday. Can I let you know then? She could say that. Then it's a normal way of interacting with each other, right? You don't have to worry about listening to this presentation about that because she's telling you specifically, like, this is the reason. And she can communicate that way if she wants. Or she could just say, yeah, that sounds great. I'll see you then. And make sure that she is able to hang out with you. So she could just respond that way, and then you wouldn't have to do this, right? So this is a response to her response. It's not something that you're initiating. It's not a game, or you're not playing anything. You're just winning, right? And so don't be afraid to do this because it's the right move. And again, if she's interested, it's going to make her more interested as long as she has a good attitude towards life, which is what we want anyway. And if she's not, it doesn't matter what you do, and you're going to stop wasting time and energy on her. All right. And then lastly, number 3, you can ask her out one more time a week or so later. So again, whether you cancel the date or not, or you don't confirm and you just see if she reaches out to you, you can wait 4 to 9 days from the day you were supposed to hang out with her, and then just try asking her out one more time, just to make sure it wasn't some kind of anomaly that won't happen again. So if she says yes and shows up the next time you ask her out, then okay, whatever, just write it off and move on. Keep going forward with her, following the system step by step. And if she gives you some excuse or says, let's do it some other time, or she cancels on you, or she asks you to confirm again, then of course, it's time to just move on to the next woman who is interested in you and has a good attitude towards life. And so that's how you handle it when a woman asks you to confirm the date later. And again, I highly recommend that you just cancel the date. So on the day when she asks you, just let her know, like, hey, actually something came up on Thursday. Let's hang out some other time. So that's what I would do. That's what I recommend for you. And if you start handling things this way, you're going to do a lot better. And if you want more tips about how to be successful in dating and relationships, I highly recommend going to our website because we have a lot of free stuff there for you that's really good. So for example, right on the homepage of our website, you can get a texting ebook. There's a 2-video course on body language, which is perfect for your first and second date with a woman. It shows you exactly how to move and hold your body. And also, the second video in this series shows you examples of bad body language, so you know exactly what to avoid. And body language is really key when you first meet a woman, whether you're just going for hookups or you want to be with the right woman for you in a long-term relationship. So that's another one. And then another thing that we have completely for free for you is a 3-step video course called The Formula. And that's all about initial attraction, raising a woman's interest level over time, and then how to maintain her high interest level once she's already deeply in love with you. And it goes step by step through that. Also, if you like our content, whenever you grab one of those free books or programs that we have for you, or you buy a product from us, you're automatically subscribed to our weekly newsletter. So I put out a newsletter every single week on Thursday. It's been coming out for, I think, 7 or 8 years now, every single Thursday, no matter what. And I do my best to pack that weekly newsletter with as much value for you as I possibly can. And so, again, I highly encourage you to download one of our free programs or ebooks. And to get any of that cool free stuff, just go to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. And of course, everything that we talk about in this presentation is linked for you below as well, so you can just click there. And also, if you want to attract the right woman for you, and you want her to fall deeply in love with you and then stay deeply in love with you for as long as you want to be with her, then I highly recommend grabbing the Attract and Keep Her system if you haven't already. So inside the Attract and Keep Her system, we go over exactly what to do step by step from the first moment that you meet a woman you're attracted to until she actually falls deeply in love with you, which takes about 2 to 3 months most of the time. And then once she's actually deeply in love with you, how to preserve that for the next few decades to come. Because once she's in love with you, that's not the end if you want to be in a long-term relationship. And maintaining a woman's romantic interest level in you is the foundation of your relationship with her. If you don't have that, it doesn't really matter the other good things that you do in a relationship. That's primary. And so if you're interested in a long-term relationship, go to attractandkeepher.com/system. That's attractandkeepher.com/system and grab your copy of the Attract and Keep Her system right now. And if you're not really looking for a relationship at the moment and you just want to have fun in a way that's ethical and that's good for you and the women that you're dating, then go grab the Good Guy Guide right now if you haven't already instead. So inside the Good Guy Guide, we go through exactly what to do step by step to spike a woman's attraction to you really quickly and make sure that she feels comfortable and that she feels good about everything and that you're both smiling in the morning, and just how to go through that whole entire process with her the night you meet her or over 1 or 2 or 3 dates or however long it is for both of you to feel like you're at that point. And so if that's what you're interested in, then go to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com/GGG. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com/GGG. I'm Jim Wolf with Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women. From now on, when a woman asks you to confirm, don't. Let that slide and either ask her out again or just move on.